Welcome, Cancers. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's our birthday season. So, you guys are first, okay? Happy birthday to all my beautiful Cancerians out there. How you guys doing? The sun is back, okay? And everybody drowning except for us, okay? Now, I do have to say, slightly, okay? I just have to say that I think it may be in combination with the North Node and the South Node shifting their sign, or maybe because we're so close to this full moon energy, in Capricorn, which connects Cancer risings to our seventh house energy. Maybe that's why there's a little bit of restlessness going on, but there is some restlessness. I don't know if we're just hypersensitive and that's why we're feeling other people's energies even more on top of that we already kind of do. But let's just read into this energy. Let's just see, because I feel it is a mixture of what's coming and like a little bit of a restless feeling, because we can feel intuitively that something is about to walk into our life. Something is about to change, happen, shift. We just can't put our finger on it. And there's this excitement that comes with it. It's like, something new, cardinal energy. So, what can it be? Who could it be? What can it be? But also like, oof, like, is this gonna work? Is this going to am I going to take this up on this new chapter? Is this gonna stay? Is it going? Like, I don't really know what's happening here. So there's a little bit, like I said, a mixture of feelings. So I guess by me just mentioning it, we're putting it all out on the table. But what we're gonna do is really trying to tune in a little bit to like what is coming and how to cope with this energy much better. Like, I'm just sensing overall this North Node, especially for my Cancerian risings. We have the North Node moving into our 10th house and coming out of our 11th and our 5th, and now it's moving into our 10th versus our 4th. And I feel that this is something that we kind of already were trying to make happen inside the inner circle, and while all these people are still like inside our shell, and we're trying to sort of move this thing ahead, trying to develop this sense of individuality versus independentness, but also not, I feel in some way, shape or form, Cancerians, you guys are always already quite independent, like emotionally. There's not so much out there that could like understand you on a deeper level than you can. How to cope and how to use your emotions or your intuitive knowledge basically, and navigate through all the life challenges and really earthly things that come at us while we're directly connected to our inner world so strongly. I feel when it comes to really feeling a level of independentness, it's more like having nobody depend on us emotionally to such an extent as sometimes we're not even aware of, that we're carrying around these people's well-being and feelings and healings journey and expressing, and where everybody's therapist, and it's like it's a lot, and it's beautiful because at the same time it's something that does bring a level of fulfillment to us as well. But when it comes to needing that space to develop yourself without taking everyone's needs and wants into account, that's a new era. That's a different chapter. That's something that we intuitively kind of already felt coming. I feel some of us have already sort of breaking off a couple of those responsibilities almost. Maybe we can call them that way, or just wanting to shift the energy a little bit, wanting a little bit more space, a little bit more freedom, and but then still being able to care and nurture and show up. But I feel that this North Node shifting, definitely, regardless if you're Moon, Cancer rising, and of course it's mostly Cancer rising, but I feel for all of us who have strong Cancerian placements and who end up in this reading, like this is definitely a different energy. Like this hasn't really shown up like this before. But because it may not feel like a new energy, is because we intuitively already kind of felt this coming like a year ago. A year ago it started really to come in more stronger. I feel like this has definitely been a cycle for like 3-4 years where we just felt more restless in things that we used to felt quite comfortable in. We weren't really receiving the same feeling of emotional fulfillment and satisfaction from those things, from those people, from those relationships, from that job, from doing the work. And that came in and out. It kind of went with the tides. It went with the season, and it was fine, and it wasn't fine, and it was okay, and it wasn't really not so much okay. And it just went going back and forth. But there was not really such a high-pitched tone to it. There wasn't any highs. And that's okay, because we can handle it, we can cope, we can create little moments here and there in between and feel a level of fulfillment there, and just being satisfied in such a way, but not fulfilled. It's okay. It's fine. Where we're heading is kind of a new era of like fine is just not going to cut it anymore. It really needs to bring something different, and it really needs to connect you on a deeper level. It just really needs to be worthy of holding so much space. And I'm not talking about a person being worthy. It's just more of like, if you're willing to put in and invest, because you're going to invest and nurture and take care of regardless of what you have in your life. But sometimes something taking up your space also automatically means that that space can no longer be taken by something that might be way more fulfilling. And that's something that we then just sort of settle for or accept. And I feel like that feeling of accepting the reality as it is, just going with the flow, just looking at all the positive sides of every situation that you might feel that you're stuck in, things will flow from there. It just doesn't feel the same. Here we go. Your commitment is being tested. Your commitment is being tested. Your commitment to how much are you willing to bend before you break? And how strong is your commitment to holding on instead of building up and moving forward? Sometimes holding on means standing still and being stagnant. And then the holding on by itself is good enough, because at least you get to hold on. At least you get to do the thing that naturally comes to you, which is we stay loyal, we stay put, we stay... Well, we're not fixed signs though. So somewhere that cardinal energy of let's begin, let's do the research, let's try something different, somewhere needs to be nurtured. Like it has to come from somewhere else, because we can't be fixed and be cardinal. Like we have to have that balance within us. And we're so good at being creative and creating a situation where we can be cardinal, even if even if we have to stay stuck and stagnant and be patient and hold back and wait it out and just look beyond and just wait for the better moments and being there. We're so good at creating comfort in that, when that's not what the universe wants us to do. We were not asked to hold on. But it's the commitment. It's like your commitment is being tested, not to put you through a hard time and all of that, and just to make yourself seem like how resilient you truly are. It's like the commitment to what? What are you committed to? Where is your commitment? And is that something that might need to be looked at? You're gonna be committed. You're gonna be loyal regardless to something in your life. That's just natural. You don't have to be always so conscious about it, but you're loyal to something. But then, what is your commitment to? And if you feel like that is kind of being tested, it's trying to show you something, Cancer. All right. Let's get into the tarot. Let's get into the tarot. Your commitment is being tested. Of course it is. All right, Cancer season. I'm going to pick up this deck. Get a little bit of that beachy color energy in. I actually had a little meeting with the ocean. It really felt like, okay, I'm gonna take it all in this season. Like, this is a season to release and to take, like, open up. A release and open up. So I took some shells, brought the energy into the readings for this month. And let's just see what it brings. Beautiful. 3 of Cups. So, look at that. We're out and about, trying to get a little bit outside our shell and outside our comfort zone here and there, but just do the things that make us feel good. Like, during our season, there is this urge that grows. It's like, okay, it's fine, all of that. But when it comes to, like, you know, my birthday week or whatever, I just want to go do something fun. And I feel like this one around, like, it might be a little bit more hands-on than normally. Like, it might just be like, whoever wants to show up can show up. I just want to create something. I just want to do something. I'm not going to have any expectations when it comes to the outside world, but I want to celebrate myself. Okay? Like, just having fun, doing the things you do. Don't let the circumstances, you know, tell you what you can and cannot do. Whoever wants to come will come. And that's all good. Because you will be there, and it will be your party, or it will be your dinner, or it will be your barbecue, or it will be your lunch or your brunch, or it will be your date at the beach. It will be your picnic. It will be your thing. It will be yours, watching the sunset on the beach and just, you know, toasting to life. It will be your way. And whoever wants to show up or not show up, that's not important. It is just, the most thing that is important is that you overlook, like, where you've come from, like, what all the things that you've done this year around, and looking forward as well. Okay, look at all these opportunities. There's so much more. You have so much more potential, and I really feel that there's this veil that's getting lifted, and it's like you're getting unstuck. And there's something so powerful about not knowing that you are actually stuck, and then it moves. And then you just feel like, whoa, I breathe differently. Because I wasn't focused on getting unstuck. Because I wasn't even really conscious that I was this stuck. But now moving, I can just let it go. Because I don't need to force. I don't need to cry. Or I don't need to, in any way, shape, or form, you know, fight against this stagnation. It's already gone. I just now noticed how much stagnation there actually was. Because you're so resilient, Cancer. You're so good at coping in any situation. And obviously, you will have your moments. And you will have your feelings like, oof, this doesn't feel right. I just haven't been feeling right. And your energy levels, like, they go up and down. And it really is interconnected with who you are around. And it's something you know. You know this. You know that whatever, you know, people and places and things and circumstances, they have effect on your energy. They just do. You know this. But understanding and seeing a pattern with certain people or certain places or certain circumstances, like seeing the pattern and not being able to put it back in a box, that really brings about that energy of, like, you know what, I gotta see it for what it is. I'm not judging it. I'm not saying this person is a bad person or in whatever shape I'm trying to judge it. I just can't help how I feel when I'm around them. That's something I can't control. But I have to accept myself. I have to love myself for who I am. If this means that I can't be around people like this, then that's just what it is. It's nothing against those people. But I can't endlessly try to nurture the energy so they're in a good space and they're in a good vibe, and so I can be around them and it doesn't cost me all my energy. What is that? That's very Cancerian, okay? It's like, I'm just gonna nurture, gonna make you feel good, you know? So obviously I want you to feel good because that's what you do, you know? But also it's easier to be around those people for you as an empath. It's multiple layers to it. And when it comes from such a space where it just naturally comes to you, there is not a lot of thinking involved about it. It's just when you have a moment where you're like, like a realization moment, like, wait a minute. Those are often the moments where you're like, okay, so subconsciously I've been coping with this. Like understanding that you have a lot of coping mechanisms and a way of looking at things and a way of approaching things from a lighthearted perspective and with love and kindness and patience and empathy. And that's beautiful. But sometimes we end up in situations where we are showing up as that and as ourselves, but it also kind of directly means that there's no more space for us. There's no space for us to be patient and compassion and all of those things to ourselves when we are already giving all of that away to a situation that is in nature not good for us, not healthy for us, not nurturing for us. So how will we do those things at the same time? We bring about the balance. We understand what is a phase and a situation a person is just dealing with versus character. Someone who gets used to you being responsible for their emotional state. Subconsciously, perhaps. Subconsciously. But it's a pattern that gets born there. Like it just... And you notice it at one point. Because when you stop doing it, they come to you from a place of entitlement. That's when you know. They honestly lean on you. And that's what I was talking about in the beginning, right? Creating that space. Being emotional independent, meaning that you don't have so much dependingness on you. Now you have the King of Swords and the King of Wands. Yep. It's like not about the King of Cups, like the Page of Cups. Sorry, in the Knight. It's like king energy is like, I'm going to go out there and follow my passion and do what I want to do. I'm going to be my own individual person. Really leaning on who you are, what you need, who you want to be. That doesn't mean that can't be a loving, caring person who shows up for a certain, community or whatever. No. It just depends that I'm not going to be what people expect me to be in order to serve them. When it doesn't necessarily serve me or is in any way, shape, or form authentic to who I am and what makes me happy and how I can just be and not cope all the time. And bend and. So, that's beautiful. King of Swords and the King of Wands is no more bullshitting. It's just like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to bullshit myself no more. I'm just like, nope. Story times are over. That's something that I'm feeling. I am seeing, however, as well, is that with this Knight of Cups, King of Swords, King of Wands energy, there might be a little bit of a split personality. Could be someone who's like hot and cold, when the hot is like hot and when the cold is like freezing, and it's way too out of balance for you, Cancer. This is not the thing is that when someone shows up almost in a love bombing way, we can really receive it, yet when they show up just like that, in the way that they just have this wall up, what happened is that you can't really receive it anymore because you don't feel safe anymore emotionally. You don't feel safe because there's not enough security, there's not enough balance. So it's important to, it's better not to have that high note if the low is equally as low. It's more better to have like a little bit in a balanced way. So the long-term consistency of caring and of just being kind and just having patience and all of that, just a little amount, but being consistent with that and receiving that consistency from someone, that is what creates your heart to open up more and more, and for actually to feel emotionally nurtured by someone, instead of just showing like up like that only in their lives, because you just can't put yourself in that vulnerable position of receiving. Because if you receive the sword, it's hardly overcomable anymore. And so there is this boundary there, but you miss out on a lot of love and good feelings, because it starts to create more and more walls in more and more areas of your life. So it's understanding that you have a responsibility for yourself to understand what you really truly need. What are your needs? Not something you want, not something you have on this perfect, wish list. It's not about that. It's about, hey, what do I need in order for my cup to overflow? And you already know that that's not even that much, but it needs to be consistent. It needs to be safe. They can, it's the same with, for example, dogs. It's like, in general, okay, like, when dogs are like sweet and they're always like, they're just wiggling their tail and they're very kind, and they come up to you, and it's this dog, and you see him around the neighborhood, and it's all good, and you are, for example, you are a child, and it's like good, and you love this dog and all of that, and then all of a sudden there's one day where they just bite you, and they leave a mark, and they leave a scar somewhere on your body. It's not automatically that you will be afraid of all dogs and that dog forever, but you will never trust it the same way again. Because even if it wasn't the wiggling of the tail and all of that, and it was just a little growl, that already would have been a lot different than actually going as ham is in the beautiful open energy as actually the bite. And that by itself, that's the thing. That's something you can't change. And if it happened over and over with a certain person, with a certain circumstance, where you no longer feel safe on a deeper soul's level, you don't trust them, it's time to move forward, because you will not be able to heal that. You will try. Of course you will try. You will try to prove me wrong, which is all good, because obviously it's your life and you are in a driving seat, and it all depends on the rest of your placements as well. I'm just saying, the real to the core Cancerians, you will not be able to let it go. That's not because you hold a grudge, not at all. Not at all. It's not because you can't let something go. It just doesn't work that way with you. Not truly. Not truly. It's not necessarily even only with, for example, cheating. Because cheating comes in many forms, ways as well. It doesn't have to be, one person cheating, the Cancer can never get over it. That's not necessarily true. It's how it's handled. Because if you, for example, were to make a mistake and show up with openness and energy to your Cancerian person, of course, they're entitled to have all their emotions and stuff like that. But if you come and you not trying to manipulate them into forgiving you, not trying to, in any way, shape, or form, try to make them feel like it's their fault, or gaslighting or whatever, just own up to your shit. Just really open, like being like, take ownership of like, I'm in the wrong and I made a mistake. I regret it and I understand that I'm hurting you. And validating the feeling, that's already so much different. There is a way back. Because then the Cancerian, we will look at the person thinking, It's a good person, they just did a bad thing. But once we start questioning whether you are a kind person or not, because for no reason at all, you make us feel like we are not worthy of your kindness and just overall respect, that's something different. That you cannot, not even, like you can even be cheating or whatever way, shape or form, like it doesn't matter. It's just making, like, using a Cancerian as a punching back emotionally is the worst mistake you can ever make. Because they shut down. And they will try. And they will try out of loyalty to open back up, but it will never be the same again. And that hurts the Cancerian the most. Because we can't control that, even though we want to. Even if when someone else is trying. Maybe if there is a long-term consistency of a way back, of showing that compassion, showing that kindness, and that respect. And it doesn't mean you have to always have to be sunshine and rainbows. But when it comes to fairness and the way that we are treated, basically, and the way you treat the Cancerian, if that is a consistency, then maybe yes. But the next moment when that happens and there starts to become a pattern there is no true way back. The Cancerian not necessarily will run. We won't necessarily run away, but it's never going to be the same again. And you will be taken in differently. And I don't know why I'm going on and on about that. I guess it's for somebody. It's just a message that just comes through very strongly. Maybe there's a cross watcher who's like, I don't understand my Cancerian. Well, maybe you should check yourself. Just check yourself now. Okay. And yeah, there's a big difference between masculine Cancerians and feminine Cancerians. But overall, obviously, like I said, also that depends on the rest of your chart, but it's not so much we need. But it takes a certain person in order to be able to deliver it consistently. Queen of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. Now this is what I'm talking about. This is that thing. This is that thing of like, hey, wait a minute. I don't have to put myself in a position where my foundation and what I can build moving forward needs to be on quicksand all the time. I actually have way more power and way more ability to create all of this. And you see it and you have a clear mind. And because I feel like I'm hearing stuff for some of us, head up in the clouds. Way too cloudy vision. Way too cloudy vision, like one thing at a time, right? Like when we're driving through on a misty road, it's very foggy. Like we can only go as far as like maybe 10 up to 20 meters like view. So what we do is constantly focus on that. We deal with what shows up in those 20 meters and then moving forward again. And that's kind of how you get through life. But you don't really have an overview of like what's out there, what's coming up, like way in the distance. And sometimes emotionally or just practically things in life, we can feel like this for a long period of time until there's this moment of clarity. And it's like, hey, I can see it. And then we're cardinal enough to say, this needs to be here, that needs to go there, let's change this, let's do that, let's get this person back on their own feet, I can't carry that weight anymore. All of that brings a lot more emotional fulfillment. Also having a level of emotional fulfillment coming from your finances, Cancers. 5 of Cups. Yeah. What the thing is that even if we have to leave something behind, that doesn't bring us that emotional fulfillment, but it gives us a feeling of fulfillment from our own sense of self. Like it's a thing that we know, and it's the comfort that something, just knowing what it is, brings. Yeah, I knew that we were gonna talk about that, so I'm gonna just quickly take one more card out. There we go. 2. Justice and the King of Swords. Okay. the hardest thing to do is to leave it behind. To say, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have to try and do something different. If we've ever felt responsible for someone's emotional well-being, or feel that that person needs our presence in their lives, it's really hard to let it go. Because it doesn't feel right. It goes against your nature. It goes against rule number 1. But sometimes we do have to go against what is our first instinct. And trust that inner voice that makes it so that you no longer feel comfortable in that space. And that's your inner voice. That's your guidance. Say, hey, you can go now. You can do it. It's time. Try something different. We'll be patient, but just try and work towards it. And the thing is that sometimes we cannot let go because simply the thing that is offered for the in-between space after that ending happens just feels not clear enough and not necessarily gives us a feeling of safety. And so to make the leap of faith and knowing that first you will get more uncomfortable, but then it gets a lot better. But you don't know, and you can't know exactly what's going to come up before like you take the leap. You're going to have to take the chance and say, the thing that this situation, like either this job, this relationship, this friendship, this partnership cost me, is too expensive. Like that by itself is reasons to go. Like regardless of I don't know what's next, I don't know what's coming up, but this right here where I'm it includes something that is on such a deep level wrong for a person like me. It doesn't bring me anything. It takes too much in order for it to be the right thing for me to stay in. Then that's the sign. But letting go and coping and dealing and overcoming and understanding that justice will come when you're like, enough is enough. I'll take these 2 cups that I don't know what it will bring me. I'll take it, I'll try, I'll go up on my way, I'll leave behind these 3 of cups, I'll leave behind all the things and the hopes and the things that I had for this thing, and I'm going to try again. It's letting go of the investments you make. It was like planting seeds, and once harvest season comes around, you notice that I have all these beautiful plants, but they're not bearing any fruit. And I try really hard. I did everything right, Then to be like, I have to leave these plants behind. I have to try again to plant different type of seeds. But I've did all the work already. I don't see any fruits of this labor. It takes a moment for you to be like, okay, well, I'll try again versus, just leaving the plants behind because eventually they don't really serve a purpose. Because the purpose was in order to nurture yourself with the fruit that you were investing into. So there's multiple layers to that. Understanding justice is going to come. The Knight of Swords will bring you the understanding and the hyper focus almost of, I know now what I need to let go of. I know now what needs to come to an end. I will trust with a beautiful owl. I will trust it. I will trust it. All right, this is almost like a solar year reading. We're not even really focusing on July. I'm gonna make this as a long reading because it's your birthday, okay? People who don't want to stay already be gone now, so I appreciate you guys here though. So we have on the 3rd of July, so it's in 2 days, on Monday. We have that full moon in Capricorn happening in the 7th house. And then on July the 17th, we have 24th degree new moon in our sign. So our 1st house will be activated. From 12th onwards, the South Node will move into our 10th house and our 4th house. And that's something that will take some time to get used to. It's a different energy, it's a different frequency, but it's nothing unnatural to us. It's just like, hey, I've forgotten about this side of me. You know? You do have a side in you, but you forgot about it. You're like, oh yes, I am creative. I can actually learn anything I set my mind to and do whatever I can. I can't manifest. I can manifest abundance into my life. I can feel better. I am a beautiful individual who can be so beautifully independent and happy in that journey. I forgot. I just forgot. But I remember. The side of you that's gonna wake up, that was asleep, for a reason. Because we needed to learn a lot in those other chapters. And now, by reawakening that side within ourselves, actually gives us much more purpose, much more meaning. It was just very cloudy. But sometimes we need to be in that cloudy space because we're so capable of connecting the dots that sometimes that takes away the experience and the lesson. So then someone comes up that kind of just puts you in this brain cloud almost. And it's like, save yourself. You know? As a form of it's like when you're blindfolded, all of a sudden you become way more in tune with different senses, right? You start to really try to touch things, feel, you're listening different, like you're just listening. If you're close to something, if something is close to you, what's around you, what's in the room or in the space with you, you start to even use your smell like you differently because you try to make sure that you're safe. So your senses will start to kick in. Same thing with your hearing. Your eyesight just changes. Like you start to almost listen to what you're seeing. And that's the thing as well. It's like when something comes into our lives and it takes away one of our senses, another side can enhance. But if we just rely on our eyesight so strongly, our hearing may actually be clouded. We do it to ourselves a lot more than you might think. One of the things that's the hardest for a Cancerian is to be completely like go-getter, focus, cardinal energy when you're so in love with someone and that person needs you in whatever way, shape, or form. Then to say, no, I'm sorry, I really gotta work on this project. I'm just saying now. Okay, so first and foremost, what came with this situation of the 5 of Cups and the 3 of Swords is just all hurt, and it's okay, because here's the 6 of Thoughts, which is the 6 of Swords, which is moving from rough waters and maybe emotional waters into much more calmer and peaceful waters. That's what's coming. I don't know what happened to my accent, but that is what's coming. What was that all about? Okay, I'm gonna read it to you guys. Peaceful times are on the horizon. The storms have passed, and now you can see that your destination is within sight. See, you were on the track all along. You just really couldn't see it. Powerful. Say, the stress in your life will begin to fade away, allowing for happier times. It may be necessary to take a journey over water or to another country. I'm going to leave that as the message as it came through. Dear one, you're being called to action. You're ready to accomplish great things and truly come into fullness of who you are. It's a time for great creativity, giving birth to beloved projects, or becoming a parent. Following your passion so that abundance and prosperity manifest for you. Now, this is one of the most important cards that you gotta keep in mind while the North Node is transferring to our 10th house, especially Cancerian risings. I mean, I'm both, I'm Sun and Rising, so I have to remind myself that not everybody has that or is that. Then I'm also talking to Cancerian Suns with maybe a Capricorn rising, or Virgo. I mean, I have a Virgo moon, but still. This is the thing. Okay, I kind of just want to print it for everybody and we can frame it and we can hang it somewhere, It's like, that's the thing. You're being called to action. You're ready to accomplish great things and truly come into fullness, the fullness of who you are. It's not that you weren't authentic. It's not that you weren't you, but there's more as aspects of you that were either asleep, weren't awakened, weren't developed yet, but they are right there with you. They are part of you. And if you come and step into the fullness of who you are, without feeling that you have to limit one side of yourself, what happens there is fucking magic. It really is. Magic, abundance, manifesting. It's just prosperity, health, healing, things just working out to you, right people at the right place. Like, you are being at the right place, right time. That's what you feel like. Whoa, I was like really at the right place at the right time, I guess. Hey, they're having a free thing again at the store. Like, oh, apparently every time I come here, they have something for free. It's like, it's just the frequency. It's just an abundance. Things come to you. You open up to it differently. You also have the healer of emotions, and it says, this is a time to follow your heart and feel the fullness of your emotions. Wow. Once again, the word fullness. I'm going to call this fullness or whatever. I'm going to just at least going to create the fullness word into the title. You may feel so compelled to nurture others that you forgot to take care of yourself. Wow. Fucking hell. I'm sorry, but this, I don't know. I do tend to swear more for some reason when it's Cancerian season. I don't know. I feel like Cancer's actually on the low. Really swear a lot. No disrespect intended at all. It's just sometimes that's just the only word that really gives the fullness of the emotion that comes with it. But they're saying it's just so, I'm not going to swear, it's just so accurate. So accurate with what I've been channeling, and these cards are just really effing perfect. They say flashes of intuition provide you with incredible insights. You or another person is kind, tender-hearted, loving, and a trustworthy friend. So that's the thing. It's like flashes of intuition provide you incredible insights. You won't just have cloudy side, super clear side, and then only clear side from there on. It will be moments of pure clarity. It's what I already mentioned earlier on. You have those moments. You gotta lean on it. That's the moment where you gotta take advantage of it. Those are the moments where you can actually make steps ahead for those cloudy days. So you have something to really grab and hold on to. Once again, like I told you in the beginning, it's like you hold on. You cling to something that's natural, but cling on to the right thing, something that is serving you and the grander scale at the same time. But even first and foremost, it has to serve you. Your true intention is never to harm others, so trust that. Beautiful. If you're better in balance, you can just be even more of a greater friend, even more of a greater partner, even more of a greater daughter, son, brother, friend, colleague, teacher, leader. So understand that, yeah, in some way, shape, or form, life isn't designed for us to take care of ourselves first. But that's kind of sort of the whole, mind F about it. Because it's actually what we're supposed to do. But it's a thing that comes to us naturally. Not so much, no. We notice when we're not doing it, though, at one point. It's like, hey, wait a minute. But enough is enough. You don't have to endlessly care, show up, be there. So at one point you just feel such a ick around being a loving, caring person. That's not the way either. You don't have to be either or. You can be both, but it has to be in balance. Like, you can have boundaries. It's just like you show up 6 days, then that one day you don't show up. Then all of a sudden have an attitude about it. No, that is a sign. It's like, no, if I have to consistently give you, but you're giving me bad energy, negative things, all of that to cope, to deal with it. What are you? Like, that's that level of entitlement. That's that energy I'm feeling. I'm channeling someone. I'm channeling something. I don't know. I'm sorry. This is not for everyone. It's very intense. They say the universe is with you. Wear a cloak of protection and love. Understand that there's something that you can do in order to protect your energy a little bit more during Cancerian season, because it's heightened. And you deserve to soak up all that light, all that sun. Mirror something of your inner sense of self back to your outer life, your surrounding, to you. So I like to wear stones in public and things like that. That for me is a level of protection. When I'm driving, I have a prayer I do. Just a small one, but it helps me, calms me down, puts me in the right energy. For some people, it is a cloak. It's something over the crown chakra, so you can really receive mental stress and de-stress basically of other people. It's many things and many ways to do things. Everybody has their own, but it needs to be authentic for you. So go and find something, or something you already know works for you. Just use it a little bit more this month. All right, let's get one more card of that deck, because I really like this deck. Okay, here we go. It's too many cards. So one more time. Okay, I kind of want one card if I can. I have just one. Appreciate it. There we go. It says, humanity and benevolence. Stay calm. Trust in the good. Trust the good in yourself and others. See the light in the world. Beautiful. See the light in the world and in yourself. Okay, Cancers, that was your reading for this birthday month and season. Okay, I know we're sharing it with Leos, but still, we're still out here. Okay. Happy birthday. I hope you. Sorry, by the way, for the people who already shared their birthday. If you're watching this afterwards, mine is still coming up. I think it's 7 days from now. Yes. Think so. Okay, anyways, doesn't matter. But I will definitely, I have a couple of things I want to start integrating and doing differently, also starting July. So you guys see it and it will pop up on your feed, I hope. if YouTube allows it. Okay. And yeah, I love you. Have a beautiful month. And I'll be back soon. Mwah! Bye. And if you end up visiting the ocean, please send a picture of it to my email. Okay, the email's always down there below, livsortero@gmail.com. I love receiving pictures of the ocean. It's just something I have. I just love it. So that could be your birthday present to me, and I'll send one back to you. Maybe. Okay. I'm gonna stop now. I'm about to eat grapes. Okay.